All right, thank you so much for being here, everyone. We are here to talk about which grants and funding opportunities there are. And again, it won't be an exhaustive list. There is a spreadsheet that we work on to try and keep as up to date as possible for you. So that's where we're going to share that link so you can follow along. Actually, I'll do that right now. So I'll put this link to our funding spreadsheet into the chat. So that way, if you wanted to follow along and see like what grants specifically cater to your business. All right. But just quick overview, please change your name to your actual name just in case it says like Zoom user or iPhone or Samsung phone. No need to turn on your camera. If you do ask a question later, if you feel comfortable putting on your camera, that's fine. If you do have a question, do raise your hand. And if it's a question about a section I'm in, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I would save the questions to the end just so we can go through the presentation and then we can answer any questions. Of course, be respectful and also use the chat. So if you do have a question that you're saving to the end, feel free to put it in the chat. That way you don't forget it. And as we're going through the presentation, please do make sure to mute your mic. And before we get started, I want to acknowledge the first peoples of this traditional land. So I would like to begin by acknowledging the indigenous peoples of all the lands that we are on today. While we meet today on a virtual platform, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands, which we all call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people that call this land home. Please join me in a moment of reflection to acknowledge the effect of residential schools and colonialism on Indigenous families and communities, and to consider how we can each in our own way, try to move forward in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. Right, thank you so much. And to give you a bit of background, so we're here in partnership with Empowered4X. So Empowered4X is a community of in-person co-working space here in Brampton. We also have virtual offices in Ottawa and Scarborough. So if you're looking for an address, Empowered4X is definitely here for you. If you're looking for a place to work out of, our Brampton office is here for you as well. So we are committed to supporting entrepreneurs to be top performance leaders and exponentially amplify the difference that they make. Some of the work that we do is a lot of the trainings. We have a social enterprise certification program. We have a mental health standard certification, a mental health supporting youth certification, and our Grant Hunter University, which walks you through the process to create your own blueprint for grants so that you're able to complete grants easier by having a lot of the questions answered up front. And we also help you with researching what grants are out there so that you know what's available and what you qualify for. Oh, and we're also putting together a business plan training that should be happening later this month as well. So stay tuned for that. As I mentioned, Empowered4X has virtual offices. So instead of using your home address when you register your business, you can have a virtual address here in Brampton, Scarborough, or Ottawa. We offer consulting services which supports businesses and nonprofits with their marketing, their grant writing, implementing technology, especially AI or websites, helping with management and operations, and as I mentioned, supporting with completing business plans and making sure that we execute the operations of the business plan. Something that we are going to be bringing back is BizGrams, our promotional live show hosted by our founder, Chris Cowie. So if you do want to spotlight your business, definitely send us a note. And Tristy, if you can put in the chat the email for Empowered4X send us an email, let us know about your business or your nonprofit. We would love to showcase you and interview you on the BizGram show. To show you the different areas where Empowered Forex can support you, we have a spectrum that starts on the DIY side, so doing it yourself. This is where you come into these free info sessions, and we have different topics for our info sessions, and also Grant Hunter U, where it's an online course that walks you through how to do your grants yourself. In between, we can help with your funding summary, so doing research on what funding you qualify for. We can help you put together your blueprint, that grant blueprint I was talking about. We can help you review grants that you've written. And also we do working groups. So we bring a group of people together, sometimes in person, usually virtual, and we pick one grant that we go through each of the questions together so we can ask questions of each other and get clarity and make sure that that grant gets submitted. So that's typically a paid session. And on the far side of the spectrum, the modify, so make others do it for you, which is really making us do it for you. So we have grant writing services, and we have like business plan services, and also our consulting, where we can execute marketing strategies and operational support for you as well, build websites. So if there's things you just want to take completely off of your plate, definitely we can support with that in various ways. And we'll talk a bit more about that as we go. So just to keep you up to date, we do have a few upcoming events. The Jobber Service Grant did pass, but it isn't due until June. So we might do another working group for that one. And we have one coming up this week, Make Your Side Gig a Professional Business. So stay tuned for that one. And we always love to mention our partners ranging from Alterna Savings to SETC, which is the social economy through social inclusion, including Sheridan Edge, their entrepreneurship discovery and growth engine, Calabash, which is a cooperative of expert service providers. So if you need consultants or other support in your business or your nonprofit, Calabash has a great roster of professionals. ZSC, which is Zeus Services Enterprise, they're our business advisory partners. So if you do need consultation and to meet with a business advisor, Zeus helps with that. Dream Legacy Foundation. So if you're on the tech side, if you're a Black tech founder, Dream Legacy Foundation has the Black Innovation Fellowship in partnership with Ryerson and their DMZ zones. And they also help to manage the Black Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub. So also One Full Circle, which is like our brother sister organization in Montreal. So they do very similar things to what we do and supporting the network in Montreal, and we are in Ontario. And always love to give a big shout out to the Toronto Community Benefits Network. Shout out to Rosemary Powell, who's been a supporter of the work that we've done from the beginning and continuing. So always like to say thank you for that. So real quick agenda, you will meet the facilitator, which is myself. So you are meeting me. We are going to do overviews of some of the grants and even loan funding that's currently available and walk through how we can help. Anywhere that you're stuck, our services are here to support you. If you're able to take this information and run with it, please do. We just try to make sure that you are not stuck and you get your applications in. So we help you show you what's available and encourage you to write those grants. So a bit about myself. My name is Ryan Knight. I do consider myself a serial social entrepreneur. So I run a social enterprise called Detailing Nights, which provides mobile waterless car cleaning. And we also do a youth entrepreneurship program in the summer, which we are hiring for. So if you know a teenager or a young adult that could use a job in the summer, I would love to encourage them to start their own business, and we teach them how. So please let me know. Service Kingdom, which is my consultancy firm that supports nonprofits trying to start social enterprises, and for-profit businesses operate more like a social enterprise. Executives Power Up, which is a consultancy firm that places high-level talent in companies looking to scale. So if you are looking to gain investment, a lot of times you need that C-suite to, whether it's your CEO, your CFO, CTO, so all those high-level management positions to be able to help your company become more investable. We help to support with that. And Black Panther's Cage, which is one of our secret projects. Think of Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, but Black founders pitching to Black investors. So that's a TV show that we have in the works. And I'm one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network and part of the Empowered Forex business crew. So really, I exist to help businesses, whether it's just having a conversation to see what stage the business is in and then what support you need to grow. We want to be here to help you create an asset for generational wealth. So a bit of background about ACBN. So the Afro-Caribbean Business Network, we started just over 6 years ago, and it really came out of a frustration with the company I was running, Detail Ignites, and we were looking to expand and franchise across Canada and into the US. And we realized there weren't a lot of Black-focused business organizations that I could go to be able to get that kind of support. So we brought 6 other entrepreneurs together, said, could we create this entity that would sit down with an entrepreneur, figure out what stage they're in, help them create a strategy to grow, and thus ACBN Canada was born. And over the past 6 years, so we've been able to engage with well over 5,000 Black entrepreneurs. We're seeing a large percentage of them are female entrepreneurs. And also the ones in our database are either the business founders or the CEOs, over 90%. But what we're most proud of is being able to partner now with other Black-focused business organizations across Canada. So our reach has now been over 20,000 Black entrepreneurs, because no matter what area of the country you're in or what stage your business is in, we're able to plug you into the right resources that you would need so that you can actually grow your companies. A bit about the pillars that we definitely stand on. Entrepreneurship is so core. I feel it's one of the best tools to use to build generational wealth and to empower the community. So when we're talking about economic empowerment, entrepreneurship has low barriers to entry and unlimited potential. So we do our best to make sure and support you on that journey, because entrepreneurship can be lonely. So we want to make sure that we are here as a resource. So wherever you get stuck or whatever questions you have, we're able to help you get to that next milestone. And so with convening, even if it's virtual like this, or we do in-person meetings, sometimes in partnership with First Fridays. So being able to connect and share notes. So on virtual platforms like this with info sessions, we're able to share anything that we found with you so that you can use it to further your business. And then if you find something that's useful and you need support with getting it done, we're here to help. And of course, access to funding, which is why we're all here today, which is really important, which is the reason that we started a microloan fund in partnership with Alterna Savings. But there's vast amounts of funding flowing all around us. And we try to do these sessions to help us position ourselves in front of that flow of money. And I put up this slide just to show you the types of funding that is flowing around us. And this is a list of funding that we've actually been able to get for ourselves. And it ranges from pitch competitions to grants from the city or from the province or federal grants, also sponsorship and donations from corporate entities. And again, as low as $500 all the way up to over $1 million. And the most recent one we're looking to close is actually close to $2 million. So over the past 4 to 5 years, we've raised close to $5 million in funding for our organization. And this is not because I am an academic grant writer. I definitely do not consider myself an academic grant writer. I more consider myself a grant hunter. So always on the lookout for anything and everything that we qualify for as a business or as an organization, and then making sure that we get that application in. And once it does get in, if it's not successful, learning from that so that we can apply again. So over the past 5 years is a lot of persistency and consistency. And that's what we try to support you with, so we can shorten that time frame for you getting grants. And that's where I would say we get the most joy, is seeing other organizations and other businesses be successful getting grants. whether you're a nonprofit like Rescue Youth International or a nonprofit like New Life Project, who didn't have the time to be doing the research, going out there and writing the grants and then following up. So we're able to partner with them to become kind of their fund development team, and was able to unlock tens of thousands of dollars for them. And even an organization, a business like Custodia, who didn't realize that they were operating a social enterprise as they were working with seniors in the community with their landscaping business, we were able to connect them to an opportunity like the investment readiness program and unlock $100,000 to help grow their social enterprise. So all that to say, even if you don't qualify yourself, we try to position ourselves to help you qualify as well. For example, being a trustee. So if you find grants that you might not qualify for because you're missing some eligibility criteria, we've worked with organizations like Seventh Adventist Church to be the trustee so that we can apply, and then we receive the funds for you and then pass it on to you so you can execute your project. And also including organizations in grants that we're doing. As I mentioned, we're trying to close this $2 million grant. It's actually a collaborative partnership with two other organizations. And with Youth Village, when we were getting funding from FedDev, we were able to include them in our grant. So even though they were just starting up, they were able to get $60,000 to be able to execute their organization in partnership with us. So they're not starting from scratch. So there's many ways to be creative in obtaining funding. So don't only think you have to try and do everything on your own. There's ways that we can also support that journey as well. So two ways that we support that journey. As I mentioned, we do the business plan blueprint. So we are going to have a business plan challenge happening later this month. So stay tuned for that. If you're running a business and you do need help with getting that business plan done, we get it done in a day, and then we can focus on actually operating and your marketing strategy. But today I'm going to touch more on the grant writing blueprint, which is something that we teach through the Grant Hunter University. So showing you the different elements of a grant, how to structure your budget, your timelines, your work plan, and the story of the project you're doing. That is, if you do that up front, it's going to make it so much easier doing grants. Any grant that you find, you'll be 80% done because a lot of them ask the same questions. So the grant writing blueprint, that's what we do through the Grant Hunter University. So I'll share about how to register for the Grant Hunter University later on the presentation. But keep in mind that it's really important to have that blueprint, because I know with Detailing Nights, when we first started writing grants, and this was back in 2016, we were always getting declined. Like I've been running it since 2009. We started our youth program in 2017, or sorry, 2013. And we knew what we were doing and how to support youth, but every time we were writing a grant, we kept getting declined. And it wasn't until we partnered with a nonprofit organization, we brought in a grant writer to just review what we had been writing, and they definitely increased it tenfold because they knew the language to write. And then when we were successful with that grant, that became our blueprint. So we used that as a template for any of the other grants that we started going for, and we started being more successful. So that's where, if we can help you get that blueprint done up front, your probability of success for grants is gonna go up. But one resource that we did want to talk about is the Business Benefits Finder. It's done through the federal government. And actually, I'm just going to jump out and hop into the spreadsheet. So this spreadsheet that I put into the chat, you're able to use resources like the Business Benefits Finder to then go to their website, answer questions about your business, and be able to then see what grants and resources are available. Other ones that exist that are really good, another one's called Happily and Hello Pocketed. So these websites you're also able to go to so that you're able to answer questions about your business, and it'll scrape the internet and find what grants match what you're doing to be able to show you what you can apply for. The one I like about Happily is it actually shows you how difficult grants are. And there's a video on my YouTube that kind of walks through the platform. So I'll get that link to you after we send the follow-up so you can see like how Happily operates. But these three, you're going to be able to find a lot of the grants that you qualify for, and then it's to pick one or two to start applying for right away. So let me just jump back. All right. So a few of the grants that we wanted to touch on today. So we'll jump into the Black Opportunity Fund. So this grant was done in partnership with CIBC and also the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce. So CIBC had created a loan program where you're able to get up to $250,000 to for operating capital or for equipment and leasehold improvements. But they did see that if you weren't prepared with your business plan or cash flow projections just yet, you'd be able to go through a grant program with the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce so that you're able to get your business plan done, get your cash flow projections done, even improve your credit score. So here's some of the programs that you're able to go through. Actually, it lists them out here. And as you're going through any of these programs, you're able to get up to $2,000 as a grant as you're hitting milestones. So this grant program, if you're not interested in the loan from CIBC, you can actually just apply directly by going to this site. Make sure that this site is working. So yes, the Elevate Black Business Project. So I think they're doing applications for their clean tech launch later. Let's see if they're accepting. Okay, so the financial literacy program is accepting. The Avro Business Accelerator is accepting. So I'll put this link into the chat. Oh, do I have the happily wrong? Yeah, it should be happily. So no I. It should just be HTTP. So HAPPLY.ai should work. Let's see if this works actually. Test. Yes, so just take out the I and you should be good. And I did see a question around real estate grants. Those ones, there's usually grants for development, and that's typically done through CMHC at the federal level. And then to get those, you have to have partnerships with the province and municipal. So that is a bit more involved. So if you do have questions about real estate grants and developing properties, I would definitely send us an email and we can point you in the right direction. So back to the spreadsheet, we're just looking at some of the different for-profit grants. The other one that I want to touch on was the BATES program. Let's see if I can pull this one up. Because what's great about BATES is it allows you to get services done and you don't have to come out of pocket to pay it. So if you needed a business plan or you needed your bookkeeping done, if you needed legal services or advice, you're able to get that done for your business. And the service provider, so the person that does your business plan, for example, invoices the BBPA and the BBPA pays that for you. So you get a service done without having to come out of pocket. So I know they have definitely received a lot of applications. So they are, and let's make sure that they're still accepting applications. And if you do apply, it does take time for them to go through the queue. So please be patient. But yeah, the BATES program it's still one of the best that I've seen that helps you get services done. So that way, with the other program, you might take 6 months to do your business plan yourself by getting guidance, which is great. But with the BAIDS program, you're able to just have somebody sit down with you, get the information, get it done, and now you can use that business plan to go for additional funding. So the application itself, pretty straightforward. And you'll see here, you're able to select one of three. So either accounting and bookkeeping, business planning and budgeting, or legal services. All right. Oh, where's my constitution? Go back. Oh, all right. So a few that are actually just recently closed. Unfortunately, the summer company program, that one closed at the end of April. So this is one that we typically keep missing, and this is for youth under 30 that are still in school. And during the summer, they're able to get up to $3,000 to start a summer business. We want to make sure that our children and our students know that that's available because it's a great way to test out if entrepreneurship is for you. And also Digital Main Street, which was really good. And actually, let's hop into it and see, because they had a Shop Here program, which they allowed you to get your Shopify store built from scratch. And let's see if it shows what's available. They also had the Canada Digital Adoption Program and the Ontario grants, where you're able to get up to $2,500 for marketing, so digital marketing. But let's check if, because the last time I checked, Shop Here was closed. And I hope that they bring this back. So yeah, this one's closed for now. Let's see if their marketing grant is open. Okay, so it's still showing, but let's make sure it's actually available. So this is close too. So one thing you might have noticed there, oh, it was showing the RAISE program. So they used to do RAISE, which is a $10,000 grant, again, to help with the operation of your business. But it was removed from Digital Main Street and placed with the province of Ontario. So this one we're hoping does come back soon. It had closed at in December. Uh, so it's now on the province's website. Okay, so I'm always checking this one to see when it's going to be open because it's supposed to be a 3-year program. So it did close in December, but keep a lookout for this one to be coming back soon. And the process for it is a lot easier than other grants that I've seen. So getting up to $10,000 to support Indigenous, Black, and other racialized entrepreneurs, we will keep you in the loop as that progresses. All right. So My Main Street was in there. So Starter Company Plus is one that is coming up as well. Let me pull this one up. Because they did say May, I believe it was May 6th it was opening. So let me just, yes. So this one, you're able to get up to $5,000 for your business. You do get 6 months of advisory and mentoring services, and you get 15 hours of business training. So I'll put this link into the chat. That way, if you are in Toronto, please do check it out. So other cities that have entrepreneur centers do run the Starter Company Plus program as well. So I know Brampton, they just finished theirs. Mississauga should be launching soon as well. Durham has theirs through the BACD office. So depending on what city you're in, check to see if they have an entrepreneurship center. It's usually within the city of like the government office, the city office, the municipal office. Oh, I hope not. I hoping. Thank you, Yuduka. That should be a typo because it literally just opened on May 6th. So let's actually check this because then it closed. That's crazy. I'm gonna send them a note because they just did an info session about it. So it'd be odd that it closed so quick. The info session was just last week. All right. So I'm going to do some research into this. By May 6th. No way. That would mean it was only open for like a week. Hmm. Wow. Open April 26th. That's wild. I didn't realize it was closing so quick. So yeah, these are ones that we definitely have to keep an eye out. But thank you for catching that because I thought it was opening May 6th. So unfortunately, this one is closed, but they do it multiple times a year. So we'll definitely do better. I know I sent it out in my newsletter. So if you're not part of the newsletter, when you went to the funding spreadsheet, you would have put in your email. That will put you on my newsletter. So that way, when these things open, I typically send out a notice in the newsletter right away. So for those that were on the newsletter, they would have gotten it. And I hope that they applied before May 6th. But that's where the info session is only monthly. So please do sign up for our newsletter so that you get first notice when these things are available. Because then this happens where the info session happens 2 days after this thing closes. So sorry about that. But let me pop back to the actual funding spreadsheet. So yeah, so stuff like this, we have to now put the closed for now until that reopens. So can export, if you're looking to do operations or sell your product in other countries, you're able to get up to $75,000 for doing the research and setting up in other countries. So that's one that we typically miss a lot. My main street was for brick and mortar companies. So you'll see it's in red right now. So it's closed. The starter company ones, Brampton just finished it. So hopefully that'll open up again. But this spreadsheet, we try to keep it up to date as best as we can. And as we find new ones, we're going to put it into here. Let's see anything else is open, like the Black Innovation Fellowship. Again, for Black tech founders, you'd want to make sure you know about that one. And the City of Toronto. So the starter company program, they do have two versions. There's the early stage one and the female founders one. So I know Desjardins, we did a lot of info sessions about that one. That typically opens every year. And what we also are trying to do, let's see. So when we're looking at nonprofit grants, oh, sorry, let me touch on loans first. So you have a So this section, we do talk about microloans, we talk about business loans, and also different types of investment. So we're trying to flush out the contact details and the process to obtain investment. So keep that in mind. But then with nonprofit grants, we list out grants that we've gotten before. So something like Alterna, we're recently starting to work with Desjardins. They have Together for Our Youth program, which you can apply at any time. Metcalf Foundation, Ontario Trillium Foundation, Youth Opportunities Fund. So the Ontario Trillium Foundation is one that's going to be opening later this month. So this is for nonprofit companies. Let me show you what this one is. Yes. Computer is struggling. My apologies. Let me see. All right. So one that they have coming up, it's called the Seed Fund. So that's part of their community investment grants. And this one is going to be deadline of June 26th, but it's opening on May 29th. So that's where put this on your calendar because it is going to open between May 29th to June 26th. And even though this one is focused on nonprofits, this is where if you're a for-profit company, you want to find nonprofits that align with your vision and your mission, because that way they could lead the grant, but your business can be a line item to help execute the grant. That's how we were able to secure with Detailing Nights, even though it's a for-profit company and we clean cars, we had a process to teach young entrepreneurs how to become entrepreneurs. So we were able to partner with a nonprofit that also wanted to work with youth to help them obtain employment and then we used our youth entrepreneurship program. So this is where those types of collaborations really help with unlocking more grants that are out there. So if you're for profit, don't dismiss grants that are only for nonprofits. It's good to find a partner to collaborate with. All right, so let me just hop back into the presentation. And do let me know if I freeze too much. I know my computer is struggling right now, so if I'm saying anything and it cuts out, feel free to let me know.
Oh no, Ryan, it's good. Yeah.
So far, good. Okay.
Yeah. Your screen is freezing, but other than that, it's okay.
Gotcha. Maybe I can just click this instead of going into present. I think it's this thing. Why is Edge on my computer? That's what's messing up my computer here. Let me see if I close that. See, in the computer, it won't let you delete Edge. That's the problem. Okay, here we go. So a couple things to keep in mind just as we're wrapping up. Funding for social enterprises, that now the social finance fund is beginning to roll out. So they're selecting intermediaries that are going to create the criteria for the social enterprises to apply. So it hasn't been released yet, but we'll keep you in the loop. That's why please do join our newsletter, because as funding for social enterprises come out, we are going to do info sessions about it and definitely do working groups about it. So we'll keep you in the loop for that. I briefly talked about different loan programs that are out there. Yes, it's great to get grants because you don't have to pay them back and you can use it to leverage what you're doing to grow. But the timelines for grants are typically not in our favor. It might take 3 to 6 months to go from applying to actually getting the funds in your bank account. And it's difficult to run a business like that. So actually going for capital, like loan capital, is quicker, and it typically just takes credit score they look at, but a strong business plan and cash flow projections, you can unlock a lot of this funding, the programs that exist. So something like the ACBN microloan or the Meridian accelerator loan. Alterna has a great loan program with BDC, and a lot of the major banks have Black entrepreneurship loan programs. So if you do want to unlock capital quicker, I would look at getting a loan or a microloan and making sure that you put a strong plan together with that loan that you're going to get. So you're not just getting money to put a band-aid on an operational problem. Like, we always do look at marketing and sales first. You should be able to generate enough revenue to have disposable income. And then if you get an injection of capital, like a loan, it'll help you amplify your sales. So that growth in revenue and in sales would pay the loan payments. So make sure that you put together the strategy before going to get additional funds. But just keep in mind, loans typically process faster than grants, and grants can be the cherry on the top to help leverage what you're doing. So, of course, I just wanted to show you a bit about Grant Hunter University. If you're interested, because a lot of what I talk about, I try to put into Grant Hunter University because we can't take on everybody as a client. And so Grant Hunter University allows me to put a lot of my thoughts and concepts into this course. And then we also do once a week check-ins, or we do Q&A. But you'll see, oh, and did I go to the right thing? I think my computer's frozen again. Sorry, just one sec. No, it's still frozen. Sorry, just one sec. The brand. So if you go to empoweredforex.com, I definitely have to close some of my tabs. Too many tabs are open. So this is the home page. So let me go to our offerings. Or is it true? Oh my goodness, this section is really. Oh, okay. Wait. Jeez. Okay. While that is loading, let me see if I can finish off the presentation. So Grant Hunter University, I was letting you know, May 1st, the pricing did go up to 1,500, but because you are here for this info session, we've extended it till the end of the week. So the 297 is still there. Let me just try and grab the link. Or Shristi, do you have the link for Grant Hunter University to put into the chat? And the main reason.
Give
Oh,
me a
yes.
minute, Ryan. I'll find for you. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Because yeah, my computer is going haywire. So the main reason that we encourage people to do Grant Hunter University is because our one-to-one coaching or one-to-one grant writing services starts at $3,000 and can go up to $5,000-$6,000. So that I guess the expertise that we do one-on-one, we put into Grant Hunter University, and you're able to get us to review grants that you write. So it's really getting access without having to come up with, thousands of dollars. And also it allows us to support more people because we typically only take on 5 clients at a time. Especially for myself, I usually only work with 1 or 2. So being able to put a lot of my expertise into the actual course allows me to share with you what I know. And then we do want to build a bit of a Grant Hunter community. So there's a group of us always on the hunt for what grants are out there and sharing what works and what doesn't. So I'll put this link into the chat so you can check it out. But again, because for right now, I am not taking on additional clients. So joining Grant Hunter University is a great way to get access to the expertise that I have and our team as well. And any questions that you have about getting grants done, you're able to ask it within the course. So if you see when you scroll down, it does say, oh, they changed it too. So
Mm.
the price had gone up to 1,500 on May 1st. We did extend it because we were doing our info session. It's going to go back up on Monday. So if you're interested in joining Grant Hunter University, I would join this week and hey, join the community and let's go hunt for grants together. But I do know time is running and I did want to give space for questions. So I'll stop sharing.
R- Ryan, I have a question. You asked me to share the Grant Hunter University link, right?
Oh yeah, and I found it too, so it's
Oh,
there.
okay. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. And yes, so if you do have a question, feel free to either raise your hand on the called on the participant section, or you can unmute and ask a question. We shall be here for about 6 more minutes. So feel free if you have any questions. Now's the best time. Wonderful. Glad to hear, Udoka. So yes, we shall see you soon. We're gonna start back the weekly Q&As shortly. So stay tuned for that because that's when we can pick grants and you can ask any questions you like. Do you know when the nonprofit session will be? That one, we're looking at 2 weeks. I just want to make sure. So either the 22nd or the 29th. Actually, the 29th is looking better. So look out for that Wednesday, May 29th. We'll get the Eventbrite ready for the nonprofit focused info session. Yes. Yeah, how many have I won? It's like the slide that I showed, I think has 12. In total, we just passed about $5 million in grants just for us. For grants for our clients, we're at about 2 million. Usually they range between 10,000 to 100,000. So I would say there's more grants. And yeah, the big grants, we hit about 50%. So we had 10 clients that we did their grants for. Five of them got it, five of them didn't. I still kind of feel like a failure that we didn't get it for those five, but yeah, a lot of people unfortunately got declined because they received close to 2,000 applications requesting $200 million, and they only had 10 million to give. So a lot of people got declined. And one thing, and on one of these episodes, I'll share my Google Drive that shows all the different grants that I'm typically going after. I I think I've like quality, like that's why we have team members that can write better than myself because I typically just find grants and start applications, and then team members that are more technical writers fine tune it. So at any given time, there's 15 to 20 grants that we have kind of actively on the go, and that's just for our organization. For our clients, same thing. We try to at minimum have 2 to 3 that we're actively writing and putting out there. Oh, thank you, Adiola. Yeah, it's because yeah, you have to take the wins because it's definitely exciting for those that got funding. But yeah, it still hits hard when others don't. But yeah, so glad to hear that you're able to get 2 out of the 5 applications that you did. That's awesome. Man. And yeah, feel free if anyone else has questions, you can put it in the chat. Feel free to unmute, or you can just yeah, type it in the chat if that's easier. We'll be here for a couple more minutes. Otherwise, again, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Would love to see you in Grand Hunter University. We'll send a follow-up email about it just to let you know a bit of the details and remind you that the price for it is going to go up on Monday. So by Sunday, the $297 offering is going to go away. So if you're interested, now's one of the best times. And yeah, we can start working on finishing your grant blueprint.